What's good with the YouTube? Y'all already know Big Flacco with the convict's perspective, and I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of energy. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, and do all those things to help support this channel, and hit the bell notification for future fire content. So I was watching videos today. I was watching Renegade Media, and he talked about a filter, a new filter, right? Shouts out to Renegade Media, and it made me really kind of reflect back upon the necessity of filters and how essential are they really supposed to be, and how people are just sending filters out just to send filters out nowadays, it seems, man, like over every issue, right? Now, during my time when I was active, right, there's a lot of filters that stay in-house, right? And, you know, household filters, you know what I'm saying? And there's also filters that you send when you send your informational reports as well as your rosters to set and in reports to a higher authority destination, which would be at that time headquarters. Now, there would be filters that come out here and there from the Pelican Bay at that time, like the 497 salutation filters, the red on red filter, the 5.3 filter, as well as when they all got the filter about the AB and MA war, as well as another filter that had came down in regard to the short corridor. All those filters, right, to a certain extent would be of importance. Now, you would have NF filters, right, that would stay amongst, you know, regiments or, you know, other Cs. Like sometimes we got some stuff that came from the Bay. It wasn't for everybody's eyes at all. You know what I'm saying? Like we got one from Flacco, from Santa Rosa. Got one from Conejo, from Sacramento one time when I was down. Got some from Corning and whatnot, when they sent them to the authority in charge of said destination. And I always made sure that it wasn't for everybody's eyes, unless there was a C that was confirmed, or maybe a solid insoldado just to cover my ass. I would never ever relinquish the details of these contents I got. Communications were always just on a need-to-know basis. Like I had communication with different C's for a long time. You know what I mean? I had communication with Chuco at one time. I had communication with Carlitos. Different C's, you know what I mean? Silver. Different individuals. I would have my own established code and whatnot. But I would never, all that business would be not for everybody's eyes. And that's what kind of makes it kind of interesting when you see all these new filters that are coming out routinely. And some of it is in regards to discussing NF business, and it's being shared with basically Northerners and soldados. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's how they made it be, though. You know, and I guess that is the only thing for that purpose they would be doing that is for leverage to pull individuals underneath the guise of the vendetta that they're trying to push, their agenda, and all the political ambitions that they may have. Other than that, you're not going to share that information just any regular end. I remember when Huicho put out a filter that was from Conejo in regards to Carlitos and Wino Zarowski, and we were like, man, like, this shouldn't be put out there, man. This could get someone hemmed up the way they're wording it. This is a filter that maybe should only be passed amongst C's. There should be no really Northerner and soldado going up there that's going to put a fucking carnal that's been the regiment commander on freeze. This is just fucking suicide to an individual's career. Now, mandates within the Norteño movement, that kind of stuff should be put out there. Any type of provisions and changes and whatnot are necessary to be put out there. But nowadays, they're putting out a lot of information. They're putting out just as much information as us YouTubers in these filters, man. And it makes no sense. And it can be very dangerous. When you have that much filters going out, right, you start to question the validity of it, if it's valid. Because, you know, for instance, when I was running, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example, DVI. I never sent filters out to any other locations as far as what the household business was that was going on at that facility. I would send some filters out only to the shoes, to the Bay, to Corcoran, to Hatchby, and at that time, Quinmas, because Quinmas was acknowledged as a stronghold. Therefore, informational data, what's going on at that prison, what's happened, and you know, the pending investigations, I would send up for higher authority process and review, which that means is they review everything and then they stamp it. And if they want to filter it out there from there, they can filter it out there from there. A lot of times, it's already gonna be known. But when I seen that one filter from the state a long time ago that talks about, I think it was in response to. It was either the one that the True Filter was in response to, or it was the one that they put out there first. and they actually put in articles and stuff of violations of certain members. And I was like, man, why is this even being put out there? If this is a general advocate's office issue and this is a higher authority issue by brass, this isn't meant for everybody's eyes. Not even many insoldados should even know about this. This is stuff that they're supposed to take care of. You know what I mean? But now it seems the way of which is the internet and whatnot. They filter out everything. You know what I'm saying? Filters are supposed to be sometimes just for your household filters and what's going on in that institution. And, stuff that may be of importance that's been stamped by a higher authority to be processed that you can put out there. Not everything is supposed to be put out there. So me looking at what's going on, it just tells me one thing, is that based upon the fact that a lot of individuals are back on these líneas, that you have a higher authority on almost every institution where the Norteños have a stronghold. Therefore, stuff is getting filtered out more and more from institution to institution. Now, in regards to, the YouTube stuff and whatnot, there could be many reasons why they're doing it. I think it's to kind of maybe rattle the cages a little bit, see what type of responses that these YouTubers give. But that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? In the way in which things are operating a lot right now, currently, I'm shocked at how much information is actually being put out there as far as, that people have to adhere to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you stay with your crew, your regiment and whatnot, and all filters, there's no reason for anybody to filter anything to your regiment. You're supposed to just continue to do what you're doing. And then the powers that be that get the reports and whatnot from other institutions or from their designated channels, they're going to put out what they want to put out there to their crew members. And there's no reason for it to be even a written language, man. So things are a little bit different. The whole purpose, I remember back in the days, was the less paper, right, that goes out to every manpower, the less risk of a breach of security. Real organizational business, familia business, that's going to take place. There's going to be filters, there's going to be communications, but that's not for every manpower or even every fucking familiano. Any familiano will tell you that. A lot of times, if it isn't under his jurisdiction or of his concern, he doesn't even know what's going on until there's an outcome of it. Because therefore, if you start putting things in people's heads, like I said, you can pretty much persuade people to go with the opinion of what you're doing. And that's why I think a lot of these filters are based upon the fact that, one, I think maybe they're trying to relinquish those that are giving people information. That could be a possibility. But two, I think at the same time, right, it has a political advantage to it. You know what I'm saying? If one particular issue continues to be relinquished, right, and it regards one particular area, right, and the information is being put out there, it shows that there's a breach within this certain leadership, this certain crew, this certain regiment, this certain region. Therefore, there's an issue there. You got to tighten up ship. That could be used politically, you know what I'm saying, to campaign against certain individuals. And one thing that got me too when I was hearing a little bit about the filter was about the buyback. That's been known for a long time. They've been doing that for fucking years. You know what I'm saying? Since I was active, everybody knows about there's certain individuals who can come back if they pay a certain amount. I've named about 2 or 3 people that buy back. I know for a fact, 100%. They paid that 10 racks or 8 racks or 12 racks. Different individuals, different circumstances. There was a lot of people that were brought back. You know what I'm saying? I think with that right there is kind of maybe it's because there could be some backlash from that, because you're clearing individuals because they have money, but what about the individuals that want to come back that have no money? It kind of sets the wrong kind of fucking outlook if you really think about it. Because if you're about the gente, then you should be willing to bring back anyone, regardless if they do a monetary contribution or they make a sacrifice. And that's how I would look at it, but who's to say who's better or what if we're all equal? Everybody should be entitled to the same standards of, requirements or expectations by participation by mandate, which has been an order within all these groups for years, but yet they have different standards, and that's where people get fucked up, and the shit starts getting blurry because people start doing that on their own admission. You get what I'm saying? Some people start to do these clearances and these buybacks, but they're not reporting everything, but they're just clearing individuals. That's where you start to have an issue. And I think that's maybe something that's being addressed in this filter, because they've been doing the buyback for years. But a lot of times people are wondering, where's all the money going when someone gets fined? Where's the money going when this issue happens? That's always been an issue. And that's why you've always had misappropriation of funds or whatnot, because sometimes people want to get their big sweat. They feel, okay, I've made this sacrifice, I've done this and that, but I'm not benefiting as much financially with the status I have, And that's where people start to fuck up. Anyways, I was really kind of reflecting on, the amount of filters that I've seen in like the last year that have came out from different locations. And there's been people who have put out false filters on purpose to cross wires to cause a little bit of, you know, disruption. Especially with this ongoing issues going on with the state and feds, you got a lot of people who are playing games as well, believe it politically. You know what I'm saying? Not on the level of how you see it on YouTube, but man, there's been shit that's happened, man, and it raises questions to where are people's loyalties and what's to happen next. And what I'm getting at is a lot of these filters, what I'm noticing is a lot of this stuff is not really for everybody's eyes, but they're putting it out there anyways. And I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that has any type of long-term career knows exactly what I'm saying. There were special privileges to this. Whether you were a member, an associate, there were certain things that were given to different individuals based upon their commitments. And now you're just pretty much involving everybody. And what does that bring? It brings more disaster because you get people that are getting drawn into, like I said, any type of political conflict. And that's the one thing that the organization is supposed to do is protect everybody underneath them, regardless if they have these political issues going on, man. It's not for everybody's eyes and ears. With that said, your boy Flacco, I'm gone.